Hello you guys, we are at my very messy desk and I'm very excited for today's video because it has been forever since I've filmed a Shop My Stash and I finally have done my full makeup collection and declutter, and so I am ready to fill my drawers up again. This is the desk that sits behind me. I do get ready at this desk and I actually did just film a full makeup storage and organization if you're wondering how I store and organize my makeup. But on my desk here, which my desk is a little messy, so in this container right here I have a bunch of project pan items that I'm currently working on. Over here is my like testing new, and there's a couple of just like spillover things, and then I have like some of my favorite lip glosses up there. But in these drawers is where I'm going to fill all of my picks for today. So we have empty drawers to fill up, which is super exciting. The only thing I really have in here right now, I have my Bobbi Brown color corrector, as well as some other makeup tools. And then I do have a bunch of my like shadow sticks and liquid shadows right here, just to kind of have on hand at all times. But that is all I have currently in my drawers. So this Shop My Stash might be a little bit shorter since we don't have any like of the previous rotations picks to go through. And we're just strictly picking new products, but next time it'll be slightly longer. So we're gonna start up here with my foundations, and I have not been self-tanning, so I definitely need to pick my lighter foundations. I'm definitely going to pull my Natasha Denona High Glam foundation. I've actually really been enjoying this. Plus it's a shade that matches me right now, so this will work well for me. And then I think the other one that will match me really well right now, but still be even slightly dark, is the REM Sweetener foundation. So I will pull that. And then for something a little bit lighter, I'll also pull my Vieve Skin Nova Complexion Balm. This is just lighter coverage, but it's still a lighter foundation for me, so it should still match me pretty well. The only other one I'm wondering if it will match is, ooh, that one might be a little dark. I'm gonna put that one back. We're just gonna start with these three foundations and see where this gets us. Moving into our first drawer, I have powder, primer, and concealer. For concealer, I'm gonna pull two concealers. I'm gonna pull my Armani Luminous Silk. This is one I really wanna mix with my Glossier Future Dew like primer product to see if I can make my own kind of custom foundation out of this. I feel like I may have heard Lauren May Beauty say that she does that with this product. I could be very wrong, but I swear I did hear that. And I have been enjoying using my NYX Bear With Me serum concealer mixed with the Glossier, and that is just about done. So I'm gonna pull this, plus I can use this as a lightweight everyday under eye concealer as well. And then I'm also gonna pull my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. Okay, we're having issues focusing today. This, maybe you won't be able to see, but there's definitely some windowing happening on this. I will say this is a little bit more full coverage than I'm typically reaching for day to day, but it is also one of my lightest concealers, so it's something that will match me right now. So I'm just gonna pull those two concealers. For primer, I am gonna pull my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base for a hydrating primer. And I wanna make sure I get the one that's already opened. So I'll grab this because this is really nice and hydrating, especially for this time of year, and my skin could use all the hydration it can get. And then I wanna pull my e.l.f. Jelly Pop just because that's my only like current gripping primer in my collection. However, I also like really want to reserve that for the summer kind of. I think I might also grab my What's Up Beauty Positivity Lightweight Hydrating Face Primer. Yes, this is a hydrating primer, but I do feel like this does offer a bit of a tack to it. And I know that's just two hydrating primers. Maybe I'll also grab my Peace Out Instant Pore Perfector. This is something that I am including in my 26 I Want to Pan in 2026. It's a pore filling primer, definitely not my favorite, but perhaps I'll pull this, try and get a little bit of use out of it and kind of get a head start going for finishing this up for next year. And then as far as powder is concerned, I definitely want to pull one loose powder, and I'm going to pull my Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin loose powder. This one is in the shade Fair Pink. This is the one that I have used the most. I'm like a decent way through this. I think this is a really beautiful under eye setting powder. Really enjoy this one. Plus, again, it's one of my lighter powders, so it'll match me. For my all over face powder, I know I'm definitely gonna grab my Say Slip Tint because I wanna use this as a finishing powder, but this won't be my face setting powder. I'm going back and forth on whether or not I wanna pull the What's Up Beauty, which I've really been enjoying lately, or my Kosas, which I recently repurchased during the Sephora sale. I feel like I should pull Kosas because I've been reaching for the What's Up Beauty one so much. But a part of me is curious if I can hit pan on the What's Up Beauty before the year is over. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. I feel like you can kind of see the pan there. I feel like I can see a little bit. Maybe you can't with the lights. Oh, do you see it there? I actually think I'm gonna pull this one from What's Up Beauty. I have been loving this powder like so much. So I'm gonna pull this for my pressed face setting powder. And then I think we'll call it good for this drawer. Alright, moving into the second drawer. I have all of my bronzers and then I have liquid blush in here as well. For bronzer, I am currently working on my Fenty Beauty powder bronzer in a project that is like my lightest bronzer, and that's the one I'm most heavily focused on. My next two lightest bronzers would be my Gucci bronzer in the shade 1, so I will pull that, and then also my What's Up Beauty Cheek Tourie in the shade 10 Light. So I'll pull both of these bronzers as well. I really enjoy both of these. I think they're both beautiful. As far as cream bronzer, I think I'm gonna pull my Merit Bronzing Stick, although this one is a little bit warm, perhaps. Maybe I'll pull the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Skin Enhancer in light medium. I have a really nice pan going on this. This is pretty sheer, and I feel like on days that I'm not looking to do too much with my makeup, this will add just a nice bit of shape to the face without being too much. So I'll grab that. That might actually the last couple of days I have gone to work, I've worn the Rare Beauty Contour. So maybe I'll pull this and try and get a little bit more use out of this while I am trying to reach for it, or have been encouraged to reach for it. And then I think for liquid blush, okay, when I was doing my blush declutter, I swatched the Pinkgasm Beauty Light one and forgot just how beautiful this is. So I think I'm gonna pull this, and then I actually also wanna pull Strawberries and Cream, the Huda blush, the Huda liquid blush, because I feel like this will be a really pretty color for this time of year. And then moving into this drawer, which is the rest of my blush. Okay, I definitely want to reach for more like berry tones and shades that are kind of giving me the winter feels. I'm gonna pull the Valentino blush eye to cheek, sorry. I believe this is in the shade 3 something rosa. This is a really beautiful lavender shade that I feel like will be just stunning for the winter time. So I'm gonna pull that. I also am gonna pull, not my YESStyle, I'm gonna pull my Gucci blush. This is the Rosy Beige. This blush, honestly, I feel like works for any and all times of year, but I purchased this year. It's a beautiful little luxury treasure, and I do want to get some more use out of that. And then I actually also think I'm going to pull the Makeup by Mario Desert Rose blush. Just again, such a beautiful everyday kind of neutral blush. This has been one of my favorite blushes in my entire collection, but I definitely haven't reached for it lately, so I would also like to pull that. And then I want to pull, I think I'm also going for like more neutral blushes. I think I'll pull this one from Patrick Ta in the shade Not Too Much. Can you tell there's a theme of neutral blushes happening here? And then I also want to pull Indian Summer from Lawless. This has kind of that like raspberry feel to it, or like the berry sort of vibes that I feel like is really pretty in the winter time. I'm gonna grab a couple more. I know we're going a little crazy with blush, but I feel like I've been reaching for the same like blush or two, and I want to like switch it up and rotate my blushes. So I think the other two I'm gonna grab are these two from Kosas. Okay, so we have Spellbound and Butterflies. I think Butterflies will be a really fun kind of baby pink for this time of year. And then for cream blush, I actually do want to, I should put this actually still in my testing. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin in Rosé and Brunch. I got this as a free gift with purchase. I have only used this once. I'm gonna put that in my testing cubby. And then I'm gonna grab one more. I'm gonna grab this cream blush from Merit in the shade Postmodern. I feel like this will be a really fun, deeper shade for, again, kind of the winter time. And then I really should call it good for blush. Moving into my highlight drawer. I'm not going to try and go too crazy with highlight, but I definitely want to grab my Dior Forever Glow Maximizer in the shade pink. When I was doing my declutter, I forgot about this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to reach for that ASAP. This is such a beautiful liquid highlight. I don't think I'm going to grab a cream highlight because I do have one that I'm currently just trying to finish before the end of the year. And then for actual highlights, I'm going to grab the Gucci Frosted Lilac. This is a really fun purple shade. I feel like this would be fun for winter. I will also grab my Dior, my really old Dior highlight. This is in the shade 2. This is just a really beautiful pink. I feel like this is such a nice frosty pink highlight for this time of year. And then I do also want at least one that is a different shade, not pink, like a champagne. I think actually maybe I'll grab the Natasha Denona one. It's been a long time since I've reached for this. This one is in the shade 1, but this is also a really beautiful formula. And I think it's we can be good for highlight. Actually, maybe I'll also grab my Nabla Ozone highlight. It's just been a while since I've reached for this. But when I swatched this during my declutter, I was like, ooh, so pretty. Okay, face palettes. What are we gonna do? Oh, I think maybe I've reached for the Natasha Denona Glam face palette a lot lately. I've been really enjoying that again. I think maybe I'll grab my 2 NARS face palettes from the previous last 2 holidays. So we have All That Glitters and then Rising Star here. I know these look similar. And actually this one I feel like is looking more summertime with the exception of that shade up there. Ugh. Okay, maybe I'm not gonna grab all, I think this was All That Glitters, but I'm definitely gonna grab Rising Star. And then maybe I'm not gonna grab a lot for face palettes this time around. Maybe I'll also just grab this highlighting trio from Lancome. This just has 3 highlights. Clearly I've loved it a lot in my lifetime, but maybe I can get a couple more uses out of each of the shades in here to try and expand the pan before I do my next updated all the pans in my collection. I think I might call it good for face palettes just for now. After that, I feel like a lot of my face palettes are more summer appropriate. I would pull the newest NARS one, but I've been reaching for that one so much lately. Same with the Dior. I think we're just gonna call it good for face palettes. Then everything that's left is my lip drawers, which typically I don't pull lip products. I just kind of match things to my looks and share with you guys the lips that I like wore the previous update. But I do actually want to pull a few things just to try and encourage myself to kind of have fun with some lip combos before the end of the year. I definitely want to pull my Melt Makeup liquid lipstick. This is in, I think, Thirst for Blood. This is such a beautiful red. And then I'm also going to grab my Kylie Cosmetics lip, cheek, and blush tint in the shade She's It. I love this type of shade for this time of year. I'm going to grab both of my MAC Powder Kiss shades. I have Over the Taupe, which is a favorite, and then the one on the bottom is Make Love to the Camera. I think that'd be fun for some like fun bold lips. And then it's been a little bit since I've reached for the NYX Smushies, so maybe I'll grab this red one in Sassy Stuff. And then I don't love the Merit lip oil, so I want to encourage myself to just reach for this. I feel like this shade is going to be pretty to just layer over top of things for a bit, so I'll grab that. And then I'm going to move into this drawer, which has more like lip balms and lip treatments. I think I'm gonna grab both of my Ravi Beauty ones just to encourage me to reach for these a little bit more. And then I also wanna grab one of the Bare Minerals balm sticks. Oh, and then I definitely wanna grab Haus Labs Fig. Love this for this time of year. Also will grab the REM Beauty Cherry Cola Gloss. And then I do really wanna reach for this nude gloss from Kaleidos as well. And then the last drawer down here is just like mascaras and some last remaining single eye products, carryover or backup sprays, so I don't need to grab anything out of here. And so that means for the first time in such a long time, we have a new Shop My Stash rotation. I would love to know what products you guys plan to pull out for your next Shop My Stash rotation, or just what you're focused on. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!